Walter Jackson, thank you so much for dialing in. 30 seconds after the game was finished. Did that go as you expected?
Yes, to a great extent. What an absolutely amazing test match, right? This is what test rugby is about. It's two teams facing off and just absolutely fighting it out till the end. Right. That was an incredible test match. Now, I hate losing, and South Africa now resets to 0 wins after, I think it was 7 or something in a row. But this is test rugby at the moment, right? Teams are getting closer together. They are. Gone are the days where New Zealand would just win every game. South Africa would win against all the European teams and beat Argentina. This was an incredible test match.
It was
right? From the start, that opening 10 minutes, South Africa dominated.
Oh, well. So I thought it was going to be a runaway game. I thought, we're looking like at 100-0 here. And I think I'm not the only one because the Oorsee app is firing up. People are just commenting left, right, and center. Everyone is shocked. Do you think?
No, I mean,
did they?
Australia was ahead by 20 points to 3 a couple of weeks ago. When I looked at the game and I looked at my notes, I thought we played to our strengths initially, right? Which was when Australia played New Zealand, they didn't have a scrum for 60 minutes, right? In their game when they beat New Zealand, Argentina v New Zealand. We had a scrum in the first minute of this game. South Africa got a penalty scrum. And from there, we moved upfield. And then Fassi scored a try on the 3rd minute. And I thought, my God, we're playing to our strengths.
I'll put some highlights into the chat afterwards.
Yeah. And I mean, then Argentina were just asleep. When we scored the 2nd try, Fassi went through a gap. And when you look at the structure, they had their 11 playing center at that point. Carreras, and he was woefully out of position. Fassi at the line at speed. They were scrambling, right? Then Kriel, 7th minute, lots of quick ball. Marco van Staden got a turnover. I think he had a great game on over the ball. Not so great defensively, right? He looked a bit rusty defensively, and that counted for a lot of their points. But over the ball, he was amazing. Argentina looked like they had nerves. Initially, they were passionate, but not structured. And South Africa got off to a big lead, 17-0. And I like that we went kind of for the 3 points when we had 14. It's let's build the lead. Let's build scoreboard pressure.
Absolutely.
And normally South Africa starts slow, and you can go look at games when South Africa when England toured South Africa the last time they played a couple of games. We were always 2-3 scores down. When we played the British and Irish Lions, we were down against Argentina. 6 out of the last 8 games we played them, we were behind against New Zealand. Both games we played them. We're behind against Australia, we played them. It's just, we are slow starters. So when I saw us starting fast, I thought, there'll be complacency. I didn't see 100-point score like you were thinking.
Complacency was exactly the word I was going to mention earlier. So you reckon the Boks sort of got a bit relaxed after that 17-point lead?
No, I think what happened was Argentina just settled into the game better. I think their flyer, Albornoz, had an exceptional game. I think at the breakdown, they competed. You know, when you play the Boks and you haven't played the Boks for a while, that first 15, 20 minutes, people are smashing into you like you stole something from them. I'm quoting Whittaker quote when he fought Dricus du Plessis. He said that guy punches like you stole something from him, right? The Boks drive into contact like you stole something from them, like it's personal, right? So the first 15 minutes, the Argentinians were like, oh my God, we've only played Australia and New Zealand so far. They drive into you like they want to win gain line success. South Africa pounds into you like you stole something from them, like they want to prove a point. Like every physical contact is like you said something rude about my mother. You know, it's absolutely personal. So when I go through my notes, those first 20 minutes, right? We were getting gain line success, but the difference is we played off the base very quick, like a Leinster now or a New Zealand 2015. Aaron Smith, they'd get over the gain line and that ball would go out, whipped out so quick. That's what we had for 20 minutes. The Argentinians then they absorbed that pressure and went, okay, this is the physicality you're bringing. We have to front up. And they did. Every breakdown after that first 15, 16 minutes, they pushed back. They fronted up. So Argentina scores at 15 minutes. Bad defense from Marco van Staden. He missed a tackle. And Handre Pollard. They go through and score. They get a bit of momentum. They get a bit of a belief. And 2 minutes later, Marco van Staden makes a brilliant turnover, like he did for, I think, Kriel's try. So he redeems himself. And I think he had an up and down game, Marco. He made some brilliant turnovers, missed a few tackles, right? But to get a turnover, we make some meters. We don't execute. Argentina comes back. Matera scores in the 22nd minute. And then Sclavi scores in the 26th minute. I think it was a right call by the TMO. I don't think they were out. They pass it back in. He scores. So Argentina goes from being dominated physically to finding parity in the scrum and also getting some success at the breakdown. Now, against New Zealand, we lost a lot of breakdown ball. I've never seen South Africa dominated at the breakdown since 2016, when we lost 57-0, right? Or against England, when we lost 54-3. Argentina didn't just get parity then at the breakdown, they started to dominate, right? And now, halftime, just before halftime, Albornoz, their fly-off scores. So you and I watching this game think what happened. 17-0 to 26-22 halftime. Donkey toch for bloody scrum off, rushes through and gets a score. But they came back. They fronted physically incredibly well. Manie made a kick, 49 minutes, 28-26. We came back, so we're ahead. And then we just kind of back and forth did, playing baseball to steal the concept from cricket. Don't know if you watch a lot of cricket, but baseball is a concept where the New Zealand coach came into England and he's like, I don't care if you go out. You're going to just smack it the whole time. You're going to go for it every single bloody play you get. That's what Tony Brown brought into the Springboks. So it's like watching baseball, or maybe a rugby analogy, watching a Barbarians game or watching Fiji, just chucking the ball around willy-nilly, hoping a pass will stick. I'm sorry, Stephen, that's not South African rugby.
Okay, let's explore that a little bit. Now, we know Rassie's experimenting, and Nas was defending Rassie with these experiments in our previous interview, and he said, and he made a valid point. He says every player that's in the team are there for a reason, because they deserve to be there. They're pretty good. What is wrong with what Rassie did today? Is it all on him, or is it maybe the experience of those players together, not maybe enough playing experience, or maybe the humidity, playing in that extreme heat as South Africa just comes out of a winter? What could be to our loss today besides that final kick? We probably don't want to dive too deep into that, because I know Libbok he's been the target of quite a few critics, especially after the World Cup.
Okay. I can't criticize Rassie because he is a mad genius, and he has built a squad of probably 40 players that are world class. But we also have to consider that he can build a squad of 40 world class players because he has the meat to do it.
Yeah.
If Lucanioan gets injured in the World Cup and Jesse Kriel doesn't step up, then he looks like an idiot. And Jesse Kriel stepped up and keeps Lucanioan out of the team. If he brings in Steenekamp or Jan-Hendrik Wessels and they fuck up, he looks like an idiot. The fact is, South Africa has tremendous depth, and we get to choose international players. New Zealand and Australia don't have that luxury. Argentina can only pick international players because their domestic league is almost non-existent. So we sit in the pretty position where we're exporting tons of talent overseas to get experience. We are upscaling young talent into the pool through the Currie Cup, URC, and then into the Champions League. So a guy like Ruan Nortje, who was my South African player of the day. I'm going to look at my notes now, but I made a few notes. Like, Ruan Nortje has won the most lineouts in the Rugby Championships. He took the first 3 kickoffs under pressure in this game. He got over the gain line every time he touched the ball, apart from once, and he cleaned out more than any other player. But this is just my live watching, right? Trying to keep notes. Ruan Nortje was our man of the match. And he was only just barely allowed into the Springbok team a few months ago, right? So when we look at what we're facing and what Rassie did, he kept a core of his team to rest them for Nelspruit, Mbombela, whatever the locals call it now.
Yeah.
But it's Nelspruit. And he sent an experienced team with some rookies to Argentina into the coalface, right? So when you and I spoke to Nas this earlier this week, and I said I predict Argentina is going to pull the wool over South Africa this weekend. You called me a non-patriot or whatever, right?
What did I call you? Come on, there's a video online. I didn't call you anything. I'm amused.
You called me a fucking henshopper or something. I can't even remember the term.
I did not. So look, all this is very interesting, and patriotism and all of that aside, it's good to look at it at a professional point of view or statistical point of view, because neither me or you are really professionals, are we? And that's the way I saw it, because you were talking truth, and I agreed with you. I was just not going to be the one to say it, but now that it's done,
I wasn't being pessimistic. I'm not a pessimistic person, but I analyze rugby from the perspective of being realistic, right? When you send over a team to Argentina that lacks a bit of depth and in key positions, you are diminishing the bomb squad. That was our winning formula since 2018, late 2018.
I haven't actually seen them come on as a unit in the last 2 or 3 games, really. Is it still a thing?
No, well, they don't have to come on as a unit at the same time, but they always, in the past, have brought on experience, right? When you start Malcolm Marx, he has a great impact on the game, but he hasn't played 80 minutes of rugby. God, I can't remember, since Mugabe was president. You know, it's been a long, long time. Footy renderpes. It's been a long time. I can't remember when. So you bring in Jan-Hendrik Wessels. This is what other teams do. This is why South Africa has been winning for years and has created this winning culture. When other teams bring on their bench, they're bringing on young superstars to be, or young players who could fit the mold or maybe could make it, right? That's not the bomb squad. The bomb squad was bringing on experienced rugby players who come out and perform absolutely max volume for 30 minutes, right? If Malcolm Marx starts, Jan-Hendrik Wessels comes on, he's not Malcolm Marx, right? When Manie Libbok starts, that makes more sense. He's the young guy, let him have a go, let him get the backline firing. But you bring in, to close out the game, Handre Pollard. You don't do it the other way around. If you either start Manie Libbok or you don't play him in the 23. It doesn't make sense, right? And then we saw some other players who've been touted greatly, like Ben Jason Dixon. He had a bad game against New Zealand. He started this week, and I think he had a really good first 20 minutes. Then he gave away a bad penalty that kind of changed the whole momentum of the game in the 20th minute or 14th minute. And I don't blame him, actually. When you watch the video footage, Matera, that sly fox from Argentina, pulls him back into the ruck, and he gets penalized for not rolling away. But that was a turning point. Argentina got quick ball, and it's that inexperience, having an old fox pull you back into the lock where Skalkberger or Peter Steph the Toy would have probably just smacked him one in the nuts, and rolled away. But it's that inexperience in key positions. I think we absolutely missed Siya Kolisi tonight. He's
I was
leadership.
gonna ask because you could see he was standing next to the field. He was so involved with the coaching this time. He really wanted to play. I kept asking what difference. Well, how different would it have been if we had Siya Kolisi's explosive power in the front?
I know, but we have to now realize Russie's annoying because nobody can predict him, right? Even our South African culture, we look at him and thinking, what the fuck is he thinking, right? Now he brings Siya Kolisi into the coaching box. But you have to realize that Rassie is not thinking about winning the Rugby Championships this year. He wants to, but he wants to do now, Nelspruit, right? So he can win it there, but he's bringing Siya Kolisi into the coaching box because he's thinking of 2027. And if Siya doesn't make it through being old or tired or injured, he doesn't want to lose his influence on the bulk of the team, because Siya is that muse. He's never been the best flanker in the world. He's always been top 10, sometimes top 5 when he has a great season, top 3, but he is not the best flanker in the world. But Rassie realized that you don't need the best players in the world in every position. You need team cohesion. And when Siya's on the pitch, they will all run through a brick wall for him. So he's trying to leverage bringing Siya into, and this is my opinion, bringing Siya into the coaching box so that come 2027 and he wants to do the three-peat, which nobody's ever done, he wants to leverage that experience and that man management and passion that Siya brings onto the field into the coaching situation. So when they talk half-time or before the match, Siya's there, even if he doesn't play, if he gets too old. So that's why he didn't play today. But I thought Markov and Staden had a reasonable game, ups and downs, missed a few tackles, but made a few turnovers. So I can't blame him. But I think the biggest person we missed today is obviously the best player in the world, Peter Steph the Toy.
I was like a teenager who had to go home for the weekend while his girlfriend went with her parents somewhere else. And I was just sitting there longing, to Peter's soft touch. Listen, now we can go on and on and on. I want to know, what is your hopes and expectancy for next weekend in Nelspruit?
Boks by 32.
You're gonna you reckon it's going to be similar to like previous games, like between Argentina and New Zealand, where New Zealand would lose one and suddenly come back with all power the next weekend with a full squad, A team?
No, I mean, I'm thinking next week the Boks will win by 32. That's my prediction.
You have like
you
have a crystal ball there or something, because after our last interview, I believe you.
Well, Nas was skeptical, and most pundits were thinking the Boks by 10 or 20 or whatever.
He wouldn't say it.
But I didn't see a Bok victory this week. I knew we would miss Peter Steph de Toy. I think starting with Jaco Reinach and Handre doesn't make sense from an attacking point of view. If you start, you gotta play Manie. You know, if you want to have Quibus there, you have to go with Manie. Lucanu and Jesse, you have your attacking centers, and you have to open with that and go for points, right? And you bring in Handre to close out the game. We're not Australia, who would start with Mohanga and then bring in Damian McKenzie for some spectacular finish. We're not that team. South Africa is more like, let's start flashy, let's try some shit, and if it doesn't work, like we did in the second game against Australia, we started flashy and let's try shit, and you know what? Let's go back to kicking to the sideline, scrum penalty, or line out, and let's grind them out. And the first game we played against Ireland this year, we completely confused them, running the ball wide. We scored in the first 2 minutes, right? And Ireland went, what the fuck is this? This is not the South Africa we're expecting. And they adjusted, and we struggled the rest of the test matches, right? Lost the second test match. So I don't believe in this bullshit of starting with your solid foundation initially and play running rugby. You can't have Pollard there when you're trying to play this baseball, Tony Brown bullshit, right? I like the expansive rugby that South Africa's trying to do, but that's Manie Libbok's shoes. It's not Handre Pollard shoes. So we really have to think about tinkering with expectation versus game plan versus personnel. Otherwise, you will run into a rampant, very passionate Argentina, and they will come back. They have self-belief.
Yep.
Now, we have to remember and realize what Argentina has done this Rugby Championships, right? They achieved more than South Africa has done, right? They have beaten the All Blacks, put the highest score ever against New Zealand in New Zealand. They have beaten Australia by the highest margin Australia has ever lost with. And now they have beaten South Africa, the current double world champions. And they have never beaten all three teams in one season. Argentina is coming to Nelspruit with some big ballas. They're going to take us on, Stephen. They're not going to come. They're going to take us on. And they want to win in South Africa against South Africa.
I totally agree. And on that note, Walter, thank you so much. I can hear you're very passionate, and I can you can see the loss is still fresh. We're all feeling it. And yeah, I'll add that parental advisory sticker to the video, and we'll add some highlights and put it out there and see what the Oorsee community is saying, because the app is totally flaring up. I can see users posting their comments on there. I can see the groups going crazy on Facebook. So yeah, we'll catch up with some of those people as well, and then yeah, I reckon maybe sometime in midweek let's have another chat, but we'll focus on the recent game between New Zealand and Australia. Right now, let's wrap it up and put some content out there for our viewers.
Damn it, Stephen, the Bokke lost, man. It's going to break my heart. It's the first game this whole year where I could braai, and it was on at 5 p.m. here in the US. We had a braai, we had friends over. I don't have to get up at, oh crap, stupid fart in the morning or in the evening. I did get up at 2 a.m. this morning to watch the Australia-New Zealand game. That was a cracker. We need to speak about that in the next edition.
We will.
But thanks for your time, and Bokke Boer next week by 30 points.
Yeah. I don't want to do too much editing. Stop swearing. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to add the highlights, and then we'll get this out there. And yeah, Walter, thank you so much. We love you. I'll see you in the next one.
Love you, buddy. Bye.